can't see the problems with going for overnight stay now.
I just find that very difficult. Daniel, no problem, but Jessica,
no problem
I'm not
there.
sure. She's only 3, I'm not sure.
I'm their dad, remember? It's not a problem, is it?
I know, but I'm not even sure if you've got beds. Have you got beds?
Well, what can you say to Sarah to reassure her about that situation?
Well, I know
When
what
parents
to do.
decide to split up, there's a lot to sort out. The Family Mediation Service can help parents to do this together and to think about what's best for their children.
For more information on the Family Mediation Service, call 0161 797 9910.
Managing a football team can be just a little hit and miss. It takes patience.
What does any of you want? What does any of you want?
And fortitude.
We've still got a long way to go.
Meet Rolly Howard, the players.
Oh, what is it? Go on, have a go now.
And their loyal fans.
What a teammate!
All the best, though.
Marine Live starts Friday, 10:30 on Granada.
Yes!
At 12:30 we join ITN for the ITV Lunchtime News, but first the day's regional headlines this Tuesday.
The headlines: residents of a Lancashire town call for better safety measures after the death of a toddler who fell into a canal. North West firefighters appeal for help in cracking down on the growing problem of arson attacks on vehicles. And a rise Sir Alex, the region's most successful football boss, goes to Buckingham Palace to be knighted by the Queen. Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime News from Granada. First today, neighbours of a 3-year-old boy who died after falling into a canal in Lancashire are calling for improved safety measures along the water's edge. Usman Ghani was playing near his home in Nelson when the tragedy happened. Michelle May reports.
3-year-old Usman was reported missing from his home in Hargreaves Street yesterday afternoon. Police divers were called in amid fears that the toddler had fallen into the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, which runs near the end of the road. An hour after he went missing, Usman was discovered in the water and rushed to Burnley General Hospital, where doctors battled to save him. He died late yesterday afternoon. Neighbours in Nelson say a similar tragedy happened a few years ago, and they've been calling for improved safety near the canal's edge.
A young boy died on virtually the same spot here, and community was distorted about it. And the gate, we campaigned at that time to have the gates closed, but it didn't work really.
Usman's death comes just weeks after a 7-year-old boy died in the same canal at Blackburn. Lancashire police are treating Usman's death as a tragic accident.
A hearing to decide if there's enough evidence for 2 former police officers to face Crown Court trial for manslaughter following the Hillsborough disaster is expected to end this afternoon. The case is being brought by families of those who died in the tragedy. Rob Yuskowski reports.
Members of the Hillsborough Family Support Group who brought the private prosecution have been at Leeds Magistrates Court closely following the committal hearing which opened earlier this month. During the last few days, lawyers acting for former Chief Superintendent David Duckenfield, here in the grey suit, and former Superintendent Bernard Murray, here wearing glasses, claimed that publicity about the disaster meant that the two could never get a fair trial. But Stipendiary Magistrate Nigel Cadbury last Thursday rejected that argument, ordering that proceedings to transfer the case to Crown Court for full trial should continue. It was 10 years ago that 96 fans died at the Sheffield Wednesday ground during the FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. The 2 former South Yorkshire police officers are accused of the manslaughter of John Anderson and James Aspinall. They're also accused of willfully neglecting to carry out a public duty on that fateful day, April the 15th, 1989. It's the first private prosecution to be brought as a result of the Hillsborough disaster.
It's been claimed up to £1 million has been wasted in taxpayers' money in Liverpool, according to the opposition Labour group. The claims are based on a report into one of Liverpool City Council's direct service organisations. Vicky Sumner reports.
According to Labour councillors, a report published by the District Auditor outlines losses of nearly £1 million due to mismanagement in the City Council's engineering direct service organisation in 1997.
On occasions, work has been ordered more than once, paid for more than once, but in fact only done once. Repairs which are done either ineffectively at the first occasion are then reissued and are repaid for by the council taxpayers. So consequently, we're getting an enormous expenditure for very little output.
Liverpool City Council say it's an old problem that they've been left to deal with.
This audit report was highly critical of the then Labour administration, highly critical of the way they were doing, the DSOs were doing things, highly critical of the fact the city had lost money as a result of over-budgeting by 12.4%. We have immediately taken action to deal with that.
Labour is now calling for the report to be made public.
The trial begins today at Liverpool Crown Court of two men charged with murdering a 30-year-old computer programmer from Wirral. Simon Dawson's body was discovered in a pond last August, as So Rahman reports.
Simon Dawson went missing on the 30th of August last year after a night out with friends. His badly beaten body was discovered in a pond at Brotherton Park in Bromborough. A Home Office pathologist said Simon had suffered an angry, gruesome attack before being drowned. Detectives investigating his murder studied video footage of Simon leaving 5th Avenue nightclub in Bromborough, where he'd spent the evening. Following a reconstruction of Simon's last movements by his identical twin brother, police charged two men with his murder last September. Carl Harrison, who was 19 at the time of Simon's death, and a 17-year-old youth, both from Birkenhead, are accused of his murder. Their trial begins at Liverpool Crown Court today.
The fire brigade deliberately set a car on fire in Skelmersdale this morning, not as an act of vandalism, but to show how the public can help stamp out the problem of burnt-out cars. Andy Gill reports.
New laws mean that local councils, fire brigades and the police have to cooperate in tackling crime. The crime audit in West Lancashire has shown that there's a particular problem with cars being deliberately set on fire. It's particularly bad in August and December. Burnt-out cars are a dangerous problem on housing estates in many areas, but they've been a particular problem in Skelmersdale, with an average of 1 every 2 days reported on occasions. The authorities wanted a powerful image to get across a powerful message to the public that they can help to stamp out the problem.
They can help us by reporting anything suspicious to the police by dialing 999. It's vital that we get the public's cooperation. And secondly, if a car is on fire and they spot it, that they dial 999 and ask for Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service. Don't attempt to put it out yourselves, leave it to the professionals.
Cars are usually burnt out by joyriders to hide evidence or by people attempting insurance fraud. The authorities say that by working together they've cut car crime in Skelmersdale by 40% compared to last year. For example, the council's removing abandoned vehicles much more quickly than it used to.
There are hopes this lunchtime of a deal to secure the future of Chester City Football Club. An American businessman, Terry Smith, is poised to buy the club for £500,000. It's understood he wants to take 100% of the club's shares with a view to selling a third of them to the Independent Supporters Club. Manchester United boss Alex Ferguson will seal his team's success when he's knighted by the Queen at Buckingham Palace. Sir Alex is being created a Knight Bachelor later this lunchtime. Amy Frith has been looking back at Sir Alex and his success.
After his team's successes in clinching the Premiership, FA Cup and European Cup in the space of 10 days, this honour by the Queen is the icing on the cake for the Reds manager. Sir Alex has come a long way from growing up on the tough streets of Glasgow to become the toast of the country after leading his team to their impressive victory. In a highly unusual move, Prime Minister Tony Blair reopened the so-called People's List to include the Old Trafford manager after the team's successes in May. The 57-year-old manager already had the honour of CBE, Commander of the British Empire, but today will kneel before the Queen to be daubed on each shoulder with the investiture sword and made a Sir.
Now to the very unusual story of the cat from Manchester who's causing quite a stir. That's because she's chosen to have her kittens in a very strange place. Kerry Griffiths has been to find out more.
Meet Ace and Davros, snuggled up together and today totally oblivious to the goings-on around them. But these kittens are causing quite a stir because, wait for it, they were born inside a Dalek. Much to the amazement of staff and customers at the Fab Cafe in Manchester, Fab, the resident cat, thought Doctor Who's famous foe was the ideal place to bring her kittens into the world. And it came as quite a surprise when the pair were discovered.
Well, I was amazed. I'd never seen a Dalek have kittens before. So it was great. It was a good fun, and all the customers couldn't believe it.
The kittens have since been adopted and are now looking forward to a somewhat more conventional home.
We even thought about buying more Daleks to actually keep them customised to where they were born. I think they've settled down now quite good. So it's a very unusual place to have kittens, but it was a good place and very apt for us.
A great story, and don't forget to join us for Granada tonight at 5:30 when Big Jeff will be launching our search for the region's most floral pub, and our next news bulletin is just before 3:15. But from me and everyone here, the Lunchtime team, have a very good afternoon. Bye-bye for now.
Granada Television's weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories. The clear choice in any weather.
We've seen plenty of wet weather around the region this morning, with plenty of showers represented quite nicely on the radar sequence. But this afternoon, that main band of showery rain is already clearing away to the east. It will become a lot brighter with some sunshine, but again, always the risk of further, possibly heavy showers. Temperatures this afternoon up to around 21 Celsius, especially in the south. Winds moderate, occasionally fresh, and from the southwest. Little change through into this evening, so once again further showers. And these showers will continue for a time as we go through tonight, with increasing cloud across many parts. Temperatures down to 11 Celsius.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update on